Tonight, we drift a little closer to stillness. No need to hold the weight of the day. Let your breath loosen slowly, like fabric unthreading. The air waits with you. It does not hurry, it only listens. There is no world to reach, no noise to return to, only this hush folding itself around your shoulders. If thoughts wander, let them. They will tire and settle beside you like small birds in fading light. The body knows how to rest when it is finally allowed. Let the eyes grow soft. Let the chest rise and fall like a tide, remembering calm. You do not need to fix or finish anything. The night holds what the hours forgot. It forgives what was rushed, what was left undone. Even the quiet hum beneath the skin is slowing, turning into something tender. This is not yet the story. It is the space where stories are born, somewhere between breath and silence. Autumn, in its quiet honesty, does not ask the trees to hold on. It simply opens its palms, and everything that once clung learns to let go. There is beauty in the soft surrender, in the way each leaf finds peace on the ground it feared. Perhaps tonight you are also learning how to release, not in grand gestures, not in sudden freedom, but in gentle, unnoticed moments where your breath meets forgiveness and does not turn away. The season does not mourn what it loses. It turns loss into color, into quiet art no one applauds, yet everyone feels. And maybe that is enough, to exist without proving, to fade without failing, to rest without regret. Let the thought drift softly, that all endings can sound like whispers, that peace does not arrive with reason, but with permission. And somewhere within the hush of this night, a story is beginning to stir. A girl, a broom, and the slow rhythm of falling leaves. In the pale hush of evening, a girl steps out onto a narrow path lined with amber drift. The wind does not move much. It only watches, as if waiting for her small motion to begin the night. She carries a broom made smooth by years of use. Its handle bears the warmth of remembered hands. She does not rush. Each stroke gathers a small portion of the day that fell without notice. A leaf turns over, a sound folds into stillness, and she pauses, not to rest, but to listen. The ground beneath her is soft with forgetting. Each sweep writes a line of silence across the earth. Her hair lifts with a faint breath of dusk. Her eyes hold no search, no question, only the quiet knowing that comes from doing something no one asks for, but someone must. The world around her has already dimmed. Only the thin sound of bristles continues, steady, like the last thought before sleep. The street narrows as she moves along it. Each sweep reveals the pale stones beneath, as though she is uncovering the memory of the ground itself. The air has cooled. A faint hush lingers where voices once lived. She does not think of morning. She does not count what she has gathered. The leaves themselves seem content to be gathered, to be moved from one calmness to another. Sometimes she pauses, not to look, but to feel how the light shifts when her breath slows. A soft rhythm forms, not in her arms, but in the silence between motions. The broom glides in a pattern older than reason, a pattern the night understands. Somewhere beyond, a window closes, a kettle cools, the world folds its noise into sleep. Still she moves, slow, deliberate, as though she is sweeping the thoughts from her own heart. And when she lifts her gaze, the air is full of something unspoken, not sorrow, not peace, but the tender balance that lives between them. At the edge of the path, a small courtyard waits. She enters quietly, her steps barely stirring the dust. The broom trails behind, a soft whisper, almost shy of sound. The leaves here are deeper in color, more certain of their falling. She moves among them as if through memory, touching nothing but changing everything. Each sweep draws a small circle of order around her feet. In that circle, the world feels lighter, more willing to rest. A lamp flickers in a distant window. Its glow does not reach her, yet she feels it like an old thought that still remembers warmth. The air carries a hint of something: wood, maybe rain, maybe the faint scent of a season ending. She breathes it in without naming it. To name would make it smaller. And so she continues, quietly, as the first chill settles across her hands. Of her, a single leaf hesitates, then drifts down, a small surrender that mirrors her own. The night deepens. The street forgets its edges. She pauses, hands resting on the wooden handle. Somewhere close, water moves. A gutter, a shallow stream, its sound gentle and uncertain. It reminds her of something she cannot name, perhaps a song, perhaps a silence that once meant comfort. The broom leans lightly against her shoulder. For a moment, she lets it stay there, like the weight of a thought not yet spoken. Her breath clouds, then clears. The air returns it to her. A stray leaf touches her shoe and remains. She watches it as if it carries a message too faint to be read aloud. The ground glows with a dim softness, as though light itself has grown tired and wants to sleep. She stands within it, neither working nor waiting, simply belonging to the quiet she has helped create. And in that stillness, the night listens back. She begins again, the broom gliding in a rhythm that feels older than her name. The air moves gently, a quiet exhale from the world itself. Each motion unfolds the dust, revealing not cleanliness, but calm. Her feet trace a slow pattern across the stones. No map, no destination, only the soft wish to bring order to what time leaves behind. The sound is steady, not sharp, not hurried, just a whisper woven into the pulse of the evening. She thinks, perhaps briefly, of faces once known, not their words, only the warmth that followed after. The night accepts it all: memory, breath, movement, stillness. Somewhere above, the wind lifts a small cluster of leaves and lets them fall again, as if to show her that nothing truly stays gone. She pauses, hand resting lightly against her chest, and feels the quiet beating there, a soft drum, slow and sure, keeping time with everything that no longer needs to be said. A faint shimmer rests on the ground, maybe dew, maybe light that forgot to leave. She watches it, feeling time fold gently in her chest. The broom's tip draws soft arcs that vanish as soon as they're made. It feels right to make something that does not need to last. Her hands move slower now, not from weariness, but from peace. The world around her has learned her rhythm. The leaves wait, the wind listens. She wonders if the night notices her, this quiet figure making small order from quiet chaos. Her hair touches her cheek. She doesn't move it away. There is tenderness in letting small things stay. She breathes, and the breath returns, soft as the hush before sleep. Nothing asks for ending. Nothing asks for more. Just a girl, a broom, and the slow grace of being unseen, yet understood. A scent drifts by, faint, familiar. She stops mid-motion. The air carries something gentle, perhaps smoke, perhaps a flower that once grew nearby. It reminds her of mornings long gone, of steam rising from a cup held carefully, of voices low enough to feel like warmth. For a heartbeat, her eyes close. The sound of bristles softens, as if the broom itself has remembered too. Then silence, deep enough to hear her own pulse. It is not sadness, it is the echo of belonging. She breathes it in, lets it pass through like wind through open curtains. The courtyard waits, unbothered, patient as stone. When she opens her eyes, nothing has changed, and yet everything feels a shade closer. The air rests on her shoulders like a shawl woven from memory. She smiles faintly, not at the past, but at the quiet it left behind. And once more she begins to sweep, each motion a way of saying thank you without words. The night grows quieter the longer she moves. It feels as though the world leans in, not to see, but to listen. Every sweep draws a thread of sound across the ground, soft, rhythmic, almost kind. She does not think of meaning, only of motion and what it gives back. There is comfort in repetition, in the simple truth of doing one small thing with care. Her breath joins the rhythm, slow and sure. The world follows it, a shared pulse, steady, unspoken. A moth drifts by, its wings barely disturbing the dark. She watches it disappear, feeling something ease inside her chest. No need for language here, only noticing. Each leaf she gathers seems to breathe once before it rests. Somewhere above, the stars scatter wider, as if making room for the sound of her quiet devotion. And beneath it all, the ground holds memory of hands, of wind, of those who once paused just like this, to listen and to belong. The night has deepened, colors fade to whispers of gray. She feels it, time itself loosening around her. Each sweep moves slower now, not from fatigue, but from reverence. The leaves gather easily, as though they, too, are ready to rest. Her hands, steady and sure, carry no urgency. The sound of bristles has softened to something closer to breath. She glances upward. The sky holds a thin silver trace, not moonlight, not cloud, something between. It reminds her that beauty often hides where no one looks long enough. The courtyard feels both full and empty, a paradox that doesn't need solving. Somewhere nearby, a branch creaks and she pauses, smiling faintly at the small honesty of sound. There is no before, no after, only this, a girl, a broom, and a quiet world that lets her stay. The hours pass without asking her name, and she is grateful they don't. The courtyard is nearly clear, only a few leaves remain, resting in corners too shy for wind. She kneels, gathers them gently, as if touching something sacred. The broom rests nearby, its handle leaning against the wall, quiet as a companion who understands silence. Her breath slows, the stillness grows wide. She looks around and sees nothing changed, yet everything softened. Where she has passed, the ground glows faintly, as though peace has weight and she has placed it there. For a moment, she imagines that someone might notice, not her, but the calm she left behind. Then the thought fades, and she smiles at her own foolishness. Some work is meant only for the night. Some kindness is meant to vanish the moment it's done. The wind shifts, the last leaf moves, turns over, and rests again. She lets it be. Not everything needs finishing. Not everything asks to be held. The broom waits, its bristles touched by silver air. She stands beside it, hands resting lightly against her skirt. Around her, the courtyard breathes, a quiet pulse the world forgets to hear. Somewhere beyond the wall, a bell sounds once, then fades. She listens until the echo ends. The night feels deeper now, as if holding every word never spoken aloud. Her eyes follow the drifting mist, watching how it bends without breaking. There is a lesson there, but she does not chase it. Some truths arrive best when unnamed. She touches the broom handle, feeling its smoothness, the warmth of long use, the memory of purpose. A single leaf catches on the edge of her sleeve. She brushes it away, softly, as though returning it to the earth's keeping. The air grows cooler, her breath becomes visible, then disappears again. And for the first time, she feels lighter than the silence surrounding her. She stands a while longer. The air feels different now, not colder, just more awake. Somewhere nearby, a door closes. A faint light flickers through a window, then fades again. The world is returning to its own rhythm. She remains still, hands open, eyes calm. The broom lies at her feet, rested, content with its small duty. She looks down at it as if it were alive, as if it, too, could dream. A hush gathers around her, not absence, but completion. The wind has stopped. Even the leaves seem to listen. Her heartbeat slows to match the quiet. It feels like standing inside a held breath. Somewhere within, a thought arrives, small, gentle, unhurried. Perhaps peace is not the end of things, but the space that allows them to remain. She exhales once, slowly, and the sound is almost a sigh, almost a prayer. The night no longer moves. Even the air seems folded, tucked beneath the eaves. She stands in the center of stillness, not waiting, not wishing, just there. The broom leans against the wall, its shadow soft as fabric on stone. Above her, the stars begin to blur, their edges melting into sky. She closes her eyes. The quiet hums, low and kind, like something breathing far away. Her hands rest together, palms warm, fingers uncurled. The scent of earth and faint smoke wraps around her, steady as a heartbeat. Every sound finds its distance, the faint crack of wood, the hush of unseen wings, the echo of footsteps already gone. It feels as though the world is exhaling, and she, without thought, follows it, a single breath moving outward, disappearing into peace. Somewhere, a faint wind turns the branches. It carries no sound, no reason to wake. Only a hush, thin, unfinished, almost tender. She opens her eyes just enough to feel the night look back. Her breath drifts out, light, barely shaped. Each exhale softens the edges of thought. The ground beneath her feels different now, less solid, more kind. The leaves no longer rustle, they simply rest where they have fallen. In the distance, a door sighs closed. Some life somewhere has gone to sleep. She remains, a quiet figure among the breathing trees. The air folds around her, and in that fold, something eases, a knot untied without hands. No words, no need. Only this small stillness that asks nothing and gives everything. Her shoulders drop, her body remembers the shape of calm, and when she breathes again, it sounds like peace returning home. The night has turned whole now, not darker, but full, complete. The air no longer moves. It waits, like the pause after a heartbeat. She sits down, folding herself into the earth's slow rhythm. A single leaf slides past her knee, not falling, just drifting, as if carried by memory. Her eyes close without decision. The world behind them is soft amber, hollow light swaying at the edge of sleep. She listens, not to sound, but to the quiet between sounds. Somewhere nearby, a branch creaks, a soft echo of the day's last movement. And then, even that fades. Her body forgets effort, her thoughts unthread. The night gathers her gently, like fabric pulled over something precious. Time loosens, names drift. The hush deepens until there is only breath. And she, no longer awake, no longer apart, becomes the silence she once listened to. Morning has not yet arrived, but the dark has grown thin, as though light is thinking of returning. She sleeps still, not deeply, but completely. Her hands rest open, the fingers curled slightly, like petals that forgot to close. Around her, the air holds its breath. The leaves she swept before lie quiet in their new order, a soft pattern made only once. Somewhere far away, a bird turns in its nest. The sound is small, but it reaches her, like memory or kindness. If someone were to see her now, they might think she dreams of sunlight. But dreams do not always belong to light. Sometimes they are shaped by the calm of what remains, a faint scent, a trace of warmth, a sky that promises nothing and still feels safe. In that gentle nowhere, her breath slows again. The night holds her fully, and for one brief moment, she becomes the stillness itself. The edge of night blurs like watercolor. No lines, no corners, only quiet spreading outward. Her sleep is not a distance, but a return, a soft folding into what she's always known. The trees outside no longer sway. They listen, root deep, to the rhythm of her resting. A faint shimmer touches her cheek, not light, not shadow, something in between. It lingers, as though the world is tracing her just once more before forgetting her name. Her breath moves slowly, each inhale like a tide arriving, each exhale like it leaving again. No thought rises, no dream forms, only a feeling, small and endless, that everything for this single moment is allowed to be. Even silence has softened its edges. The sky exhales, the house sleeps, and she, curled within herself, is both here and gone, a quiet echo of her own stillness. Somewhere, a faint light begins. Not sunrise, only the thought of one. The sky sighs, a pale breath spilled across the horizon. She sleeps through it, unmoved, safe inside the hush she made. The leaves outside shift once, then stop. One drifts loose, slow, careful, as though the air itself doesn't wish to disturb her. It falls without sound, turning once, then twice, before coming to rest beside her door. That small motion seems to close something, a circle, a season, a quiet promise kept. Her breathing deepens, barely there now. Even the silence leans closer, listening to its own still heart. Nothing moves, nothing asks. The world holds her gently, as if remembering what it means to care without effort. And when the last breath comes, it is not an ending, only the soft release of all that wish to stay. The leaf, the girl, the quiet, each becomes the other. And in that becoming, the night finally rests.